Hello, besties. Welcome to Martinez with Eddie, your ultimate destination for everything Bravo. Join me as we spill the tea and almost break my phone. Well, you guys gotta excuse me tonight because I just moved to my new place and it's been quite interesting. Um, I am going to try to finish my podcast without breaking the rest of my stuff. I'm hoping that it doesn't create as much noise. I will make sure to have my microphone ready next time without me holding it like this. As you can see, for my background, I just moved to a new place. And the process of moving and uh, driving and packing, it's been quite stressful, you guys. I truly am tired, as you guys can see, but I'm here. I'm here because I want to talk about all the stuff that's been happening in the Bravo universe, especially today with the Shannon Beador um, car accident that happened because she was drunk. She was arrested with a DUI and hit and run, which it's sad, and also it's even sadder because her dog, the iconic Archie, was with her in the car, and then she used him as like a decoy, meaning like pretending that she wasn't driving the car, that she just crashed into her home. I mean, it was a crazy, crazy day for Shannon. I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna be very, very, respectful of what Shannon is going through, but also we have to keep people accountable. We cannot just pretend that, oh my gosh, I hope she's okay. No, we have to make sure that she finds the help that she needs. But I want to start with New York. New York is having one of my favorite seasons. I know that people are not ready for that conversation, and that's completely fine. And I'm going to tell you why. It's completely fine because people are still trying to, hold on to the idea that the old cast needs to come back. Yes, the old cast needs to come back, but at the same time, we have to give the opportunity to this new cast to find their footing on the show. I mean, the last episode was what we consider a little of a filler, but even though it was a little of a filler, I think it delivers moments and conversation that needed to be had for us to get to know this lady even more. There was a part in the episode at the beginning where they were still talking about Jessel's story, the one that she got to London because her dad was from Kenya, and it was a very bizarre story, right? But that's her story. I don't understand how that it's something that people need to question. That truly show me that she is a very real person. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the way that she has developed on the show was definitely a surprise for all of us. It was more than that I was expecting from Jessel. At the beginning, I wasn't even paying attention to what she was saying, but little by little, she has been winning the heart of the fans, and the story that she shared, it kind of resonated with many people, especially immigrants in a place like New York City, where even if you say, "Oh, I'm broke," broke in New York City is really fucking broke. It's not a joke. Um, the fact that she shared that story, I give her props, but I don't understand how Erin and how Sai took that as like she was trying to own like she was trying to one up their stories, you know. Um, the fact that she shared her family story, it's to me very important because as somebody who came to America with his family, when I talk about our story, I always make sure that I mention my family because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, right? Um, I honestly don't think that Sai and Erin are understanding where she's coming from, which is really sad, especially Sai. Sai is a woman from a Latino background, and it's very strange to me that a person with Latino background doesn't see how family is important when it comes to our story, right? I I think one of the most family oriented cultures are Spanish speaking families, right? Uh, our family depend like we depend on our families pretty much our whole entire life in really weird ways, and even moms are overprotecting, and parents are involved in pretty much every single decision that we make. um, I still don't get how uh, side didn't side with Jessel, and I wonder if it has to be with the fact that um, she also wanted to have the more like meaningful story. I don't know. It's very confusing. It's very bizarre, but at the same time, I think it also makes for great TV because I'm happy that at least Jessel is pointing out that the one that became like the person complained about her story was Erin. I'm not saying that Erin is not a family person because we saw pretty much like on her first episode, she's been talking about how she grew up you know, in her family with her brother. Um, the fact that her, her background is very important to her. So I think there has to be a deeper problem, uh, and it comes down to the fact that even uh, Jessel can't even mention her financial upbringing without having it being questioned. And like Ubah said, like no matter what Jessel says, it seems like it's always questioned. So there has to be a deeper problem. There has to be a deeper issue that more than just like, oh, she wants to one up our stories, or she wants to have the deeper story, or um, yeah, I think it's too dramatic, you know, and I question it. I honestly don't think it's just because of her family story. Because the last time I checked, I mean, even Sai has been sharing her story with her family as part of her own story. In the previous episode, Sai was sharing that her mom, you know, had an alcohol issue, that her mom, passed away while having a heart attack, sitting by herself in a park, and that's how, her life was affected by that, correct? So I don't get how she gets to experience that, but Jessel is questioned because she shared where her family migrated because they're having issues, like Kenya. They were being prosecuted, and they, in all the stuff that she shared. I just think that there is a gang up on Jessel that it doesn't justify the reasoning behind these ladies to go against her. It's like Heather Dubrow in Orange County, right? We've been talking about this whole entire time, where no matter what Heather Dubrow does, it seems like there's going to be some kind of question and some kind of negative reaction from the other cast member. This time it's Jessel, and I'm happy that at least she has Ubah to be her support system. And honestly, Ubah is showing why she is a housewife, why she was selected to be a full-time housewife. This last episode was by far one of her best as a castmate. She was activated on the during the trip and on her confessionals as well. She said something very, very important that I want to share with you guys verbatim. She said, Jessel can bring her mom to them and be like, this is my mom. And they'll be like, we need to see a DNA test. Like, just Jessel can win. And it's true. No matter what Jessel says, there's going to be a question. She also said that she mentioned any generation, people share story of their families. You are who you came from. And that is so, so real. So real. I want to ask you guys who are listening, when you talk about your story and your upbringing and who you are as a person, what's the first thing that you mention? And I think most of us, I don't know, most of us tend to share the story of our family. I always tell people, yeah, I grew up in an environment with some privileges, and that gave me some opportunities in life to do things and meet people and grow professionally and grow as a human being and see the world in a different way. So I agree with Ubah. You are who you came from, and you also are part of a family as a story. Then, oh my gosh, let's talk about a little bit about Bren, and Jenna. I am obsessed with Bren. And how she was saying that she see herself with Jenna, and how she can see the invitation, and how she can see the credit card, statements, and the deed of the house. That is so real. To be honest, I ship it. I can see Jenna and Bren having a great time. Bren is such a sensual person, and that is awesome. I don't like when people kind of like shame others for being sexually explicit and like very open. I don't care. Like, if that's somebody's personality and they know how to carry it and it's entertaining and fun, and I don't see the problem. I mean, Bryn has shown time and time again that she has a very sexual sense of humor. Like, every single kind of commentary that she does on confessional has a sexual, like, connotation and kind of joke about it, right? So yeah, I ship it. I would like to see a Jenna Bryn, little, fun. And Jenna is awesome. I mean, if I was a woman, if I was into women, and I met a girl who acts and talks and behaves like Jenna, I'd be so into it. I think she has those like very mysterious, very, deep and interesting and fun at the same time. Like, I feel like when like having a conversation with her, like at a dinner, is and looking into her eyes, it's just kind of like, I don't know. She has this like mystery around her that is so interesting. And then you have somebody like Brent, who's like super open, super loud and exciting and fun. I think they made a good freaking couple if they were to be into each other, right? One of the moments that I enjoyed the most, you guys, to be honest, was when they were sharing different stories, like the most embarrassing stories that they have. And Bryn said that she stuck her tampon in her butthole. I died. But then you got Jessel literally like diving into like I guess like a dance floor or something with her top all the way up. Everybody's like cheering for her, and she's like, Jesus Christ, I'm topless in Cancun. That was freaking hysterical. Then you had Jenna skyrocketing diving head down into like a freaking stair, like going downstairs um into like a secret club that is very popular in New York City. And and all her like clothes like ripped and bruised and stuff. Ubah has a piece of toilet paper stuck in her shoe or something, or like whatever. Sai shared that she shed her pants. I'm loving the stories. And then you get to Erin. And her story was that her kids wouldn't shut up in a plane. I mean, like, it is embarrassing because that is annoying as fuck. As somebody who hates flying, when I get sit like either in front or behind a kid, I just like put my headphones on and I just like black out all the way to wherever I have to go because I hate annoying kids in planes. So I understand why Erin was embarrassed. But I mean, if you put that story on the same level as shitting your pants or like putting a tampon up your butt, I mean, that was like a womp. Even Sai was like, is that it? Like, for real? And Jessel was saying, and she's right, like, yeah, the story is embarrassing, but that's like the story of pretty much every single mom in America and across the world. It's true. If you have a kid and you fly with a kid, you are the annoying person on the plane. I mean, it's very rare to see a kid on a plane that is not annoying because, I mean, they have very short attention span as it is. Add to it the fact that you're flying, so they are not understanding why their body's feeling some kind of way, why they have a pressure in their head, why the ears are popping, so they are uncomfortable. Add to that the fact that they're trapped in a plane. I get so anxious when I'm flying. I get so overwhelmed. As soon as they close that door, my heart rate goes up by 1,000,000. So I had to drink some freaking wine or something in that plane so I can calm my nerves down, right? So yeah, it's embarrassing, but it's not that big of a deal, Erin. um, and talking about Erin, I am so looking forward to that fight with Ubah because everything started because a prank. It seems like Ubah pushed Erin into the pool, and Erin was looking for a way to kind of like get her back, and the way that she did was by hiding her phone. Erin explained that the phone was left in the car and she grabbed it and she held on to it and she used it as a prank until the part of she grabbed the phone for Ubah. I'm with Erin. But the moment that she decided to keep the phone in her possession, the moment that she decided to hide it from her, I have a problem. And I'm going to tell you why. I am on my phone more than anything. Like, I'm on my phone 24/7. Either tweeting or messaging people or emailing or checking Instagram, taking photos. I'm on my phone and I need to be connected with people. That's how I, that's how I operate. And I see that maybe Ubah is the same way too. Also, I don't want anyone be checking my phone because if you go on my photos, on my video files, I don't want you to be seeing stuff that you shouldn't be seeing. Devil horn stuff. A phone is such a personal thing, you guys, that I get why Ubah is acting and reacting the way that she did. Some people are saying that she overdid it, but I'm sure that if somebody does that to you, if somebody hides your phone, you are going to be upset because it's a very personal item. If it was a phone back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s, when we used the phone just to call people and maybe text once in a while, because for those who don't know, those who are not old enough to remember how cell phones specifically, were used in the early 2000s, late 90s, we didn't have unlimited plans. We had you had to prepay like an amount, or it was really expensive, and text messaging was so expensive. You couldn't text as much as we did now. That was like a very, yeah. I remember we used to have the beepers to receive messages. That's how old I am. I had a beeper. I had my phone, and my phone was like huge first, and then it got smaller, and then I got the Sidekick. For those who don't know, the Sidekick was like the best phone ever. It was like a mini computer. You kind of like open the screen and you tap. You kind of like use a little keyboard. It's the most like 2K era technology. If you look for the Sidekick by T-Mobile, this is not an advertisement, but go look it up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, everybody had one. Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, everybody in Laguna Beach, everybody wanted a Sidekick. So, and then we evolved to the iPhone. My point is, like, before the phone was used for calling people and texting. Now we have photos, we have videos, we have social media, we have DMs, we have dating apps that the phone became an extent of our personal life. That somebody taking it and hiding it seems very intrusive. At least Erin grabbed it for her. What she needed to do was return it immediately, not wait until Ubah found out that she had it and she hid it as a prank. So I can see the energy where it's coming from. But when the moment that Ubah grabbed those sunglasses and she said, you're gonna look at me, I was like, ooh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. I'm just sad that we got a cliffhanger. I wanted the fight. I wanted, what's going to happen? Give it to me right now, Bravo. But we have to wait until next week to find that out. I'm just happy how this show is evolving. Those who have not paid attention, we had gotten to know these ladies so much in the past few episodes. Many people are saying that this trip is not as eventful as all the housewife trips. But that's the point, you guys. The point is to get to know the ladies before we make our mind and before we go into a new season where we already, for season 2, they know each other better because they are forced to hang out more. A lot of people on this cast, you can tell that they didn't know each other before getting on the show. And that's okay. That's part of not just reality TV, that's also part of life. I'm starting a job tomorrow with a new team. So tomorrow I'm going to work. to meet new people. So the more I meet these people, the more personal I'm gonna get with them, the more, comfortable I get with these people, more stuff start to happen. Um, so that's what's gonna happen with this show. Next season, we're gonna get better fights, more dynamics between them. And yeah, give the show a chance. I loved last night's episode. I saw many comments online saying that, oh, this is the worst episode in history of Housewives. People are just being dramatic because they still want and hold to the idea that the old cast is gonna come back. That ship has sailed. That idea is not in Bravo's mind anymore. The old cast is going to maybe make appearances, I suppose, but at the same time, I think that the new cast has cemented themselves as the future of New York. Even Andy wore a T-shirt that Jessel gave to him with all the names on it, and he wore it over the weekend, and he posted on Instagram while he was working out. He was wearing it. Trust me, if Andy and Bravo were moving forward with this cast, he will not be promoting them. Also, they just filmed the reunion, and he was very happy with the outcome of the reunion. So what I'm saying is, for people out there who are very doubtful of the future of this cast, trust me, this cast is here to stay. If they weren't moving forward with this cast, if they were not moving forward with a new season with this cast, they will not be invited to BravoCon. Trust me on that one. I'm excited because I believe that with the new cast, the dynamic of the show has changed, and it's going to push other franchises just to do this, to either find better storyline with the cast they already have or recast this whole entire franchises. And I'm okay with it. I'm on this mindset that sometimes changes are really freaking good, because if you guys haven't noticed, Bravo has hit the nail with new casting. We had the whole entire cast of New York. We had Jen Pedranti in Orange County. We have we also have I'm trying to remember, Salt Lake City. We have Monica, we have Monica on Salt Lake City, who was a home run on casting. So I do believe that moving forward, Bravo is going to keep up with casting decisions in this way that most people might not like at first, but are gonna change the path of many franchises, because Housewives as we know it is changing. Housewives as we started watching it 10 years ago, 20 years ago, is changing. I remember when I first started watching Orange County on season 1 many, many years ago. That was, that's how we all got introduced to Housewives. If you compare season 1 from that one to, a season 1 of Dubai, of the new cast in New York, you see what Bravo is trying to do. And not for nothing, I'm enjoying the fact that we are going back to petty ass drama and a lot of like wealthy conversations and like talking about, jet setting the world and shopping brands and, spending money for crazy stuff, because that's what Housewife was all about, So that is my opinion and take on the future of Housewives. So for those who still think that the old cast of New York is going somehow to overshadow the new cast, I don't think that's going to happen at all. I want to share this message from Palaver Girl right here. She said, thank you for explaining how Ubah felt. Erin was out of line by keeping the phone even after she went to bed. We save our credit card, passport, health records on our phones when we travel. Not cool. I agree. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I love every single one of these girls on this cast. I love Erin. I love Ubah. I love Sai. I love Jenna, Jessel, Brent. I love them all. But especially when you are in a foreign country, you feel a little unsafe. It doesn't matter what country it is. It doesn't matter if it's France. It doesn't matter if it's the United Kingdom, if it's Mexico, if it's Canada. I don't know what country you go to. If it's a first world country or a second world country or a third world country, it doesn't matter. You feel unsafe because you are in a place that you are not familiar with the environment. So not having access to your phone can be sometimes very triggering. Can be, that can be your safe place. Our phone are a safe place in places that we're not familiar with, right? So the prank with the phone, I do think it was a little too much. I mean, there's other ways to prank people that doesn't trigger this type of emotions, right? That's just my opinion. I know many people are gonna say that I'm just overreacting or over-explaining or whatever, but sometimes we need to see the consequences of even a simple prank, right? I want to talk about Orange County Shannon Beador being arrested, right? But before I go into that, I want to read what Ubah posted today on Instagram because I think it will give a little light of what is coming for the reunion. She said, "This trip, we had a blast in Anguilla. It was an amazing time with the girls, but that last day turned into some roller coaster. It's tough trying to capture everything that happened over 24 hours in one or two episodes, and they don't. So we are left to explain ourselves. Oh, that fun prank, just the tip of the iceberg. Or should I say the seed. Plenty more happened that drove me to be even more upset and that never made it into this episode. Get ready for the reunion. We are spilling all the beans and set the record straight." So you see that, you guys, Ubah is going to spill the beans and set the record straight at the reunion. That was already filmed, by the way. So I cannot wait to watch that. Let's talk about Shannon Beador being arrested for a DUI hit and run after she crashed her car in her Newport Beach house. It seems like Shannon was really intoxicated Saturday night, and she drove her car into a residential property in Newport Beach and clipped the house. You have to be fucking drunk as fuck to do something like that. And that is so dangerous. But that's not the whole story. Beador turned back onto the road and kept going before parking her vehicle in the middle of the street and getting out with her dog. That's Archie. I mean, I'm as a dog dad, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if you make fun of me or whatever. Don't give a fuck about that. Not my business. But when it comes to my dogs, my 3 huskies, they are my life, my heart, everything to me. And I protect those dogs more than anything. So the fact that she was drunk, driving with Archie in the car, that is a next level thing, because she didn't just put her life in danger. She put Archie's life in danger too. That was so irresponsible. And I'm so disappointed because am I a Shannon Beador fan? No. But do I enjoy her on this show? Yes. But when you put your own dog life in danger just for because you can't control your drinking, I feel bad for Shannon. I know that she probably is like going through something. Maybe currently she feels embarrassed. I know her lawyer released a statement, that she's embarrassed, she's trying to find help, and that's what I think. That's what I want. I don't think people should judging uh, Shannon Beador for being a bad person, because having an alcohol issue doesn't make you a bad person. Make you somebody who needs help, right? Do I think she needs to be cuddled and feel like, oh, let's protect Shannon? Like, that's one shit that pisses me off sometimes online. We're like, we need to protect Shannon. No, this is not a time to protect Shannon. This is a time to sit her ass down, talk to her, and be like, you put your life, the life of your dog, and the life of people, whoever was around her, like somebody in a car, somebody who was walking, the people in the house, in danger. So if she can't control her drinking, it's maybe time to check in a rehab. And it's so freaking crazy how this season Shannon made her vendetta to go after Gina and bring to light her issue with like alcohol and making comments about her kids in the process, that even Gina said like, I hope one day she goes to rehab, and that's when I'm gonna accept her apology, right? And it seems like she might be getting it, because the only way that Shannon can, come back from this is by taking responsibility and accountability for her actions and for the way that she's been drinking. I mean, if your whole personality is drinking tequila 24/7 with your tres amigas, and now you get in a car crash because you are in a DUI, and you do a hit and run, and you are with your own dog in your car at night. I mean, there's so many layers of problem here. She might be going through whatever in her life, but when alcohol overtakes your life and you put everybody else around you in danger, then it's time to maybe put the drink down and take responsibility. It's so hard. It's so hard to talk about this because alcohol is not a fun vice to have. Like, yeah, some people can handle alcohol. I mean, I can have a drink, two, three, and I'll be fine. And I had to learn my limit because I used to drink like a maniac when I was in college and when I was like younger. Like the embarrassing photo that I have, I mean, obviously you think you were so cool doing keg stand and getting drunk and beer pong and taking shots and just blacking out because you were young and stupid. I had to stop drinking for a very long time because I felt one day I woke up feeling like this is my life. I'm blacking out almost every night. So I stopped drinking. Obviously, I drink now. I mean, I'm not gonna say like, oh, I'm sober. I don't drink. No, I do drink. But as I got older, I learned how to not be a mess and just have a cocktail or two or three and drink in a slow pace. So I'm just hoping that Shannon finds somebody who sit her ass down and tell her, you know what, either you're gonna kill somebody or you're gonna kill yourself. So you gotta do something about it. Because I mean, getting in a car crash, pretend it didn't happen with your dog in your car, that is just sad. Sad. One thing that she got from this is probably her orange and Gina's orange too in the process, because I'm sure Bravo wants to see Gina talking about this and trying to make this her storyline for next season to get her back from what she said on this current season that is airing right now. Oof, that was a lot, you guys. And I'm happy because I fixed my microphone. I mean, if you're listening to my podcast right now, you're probably, wondering, why there was such a like loud sound at the beginning. The thing is, like like I mentioned before, I just moved into a new place. We are selling our house because we are gonna buy in New Jersey. So we are selling our upstate property. And the desk that I have right now is a different desk. So the clip from my microphone, I have one of those like arm, and you have a clip. The clip doesn't clip on this freaking desk as tight as it did on my desk that is still upstate. So I'm trying to maneuver, moving, being in a new place, trying to like decorate my background now because now it's just like a blank. I miss my background, you guys. I miss my wallpaper. But, things will come for those who wait. And I'm happy that I'm starting a new chapter with my life. We are moving to Jersey. Well, we just moved to Jersey, back to Jersey because that's where I'm from. Really close to the city. Definitely more stuff coming. More Bravo stuff and events that I'm gonna be able to go to. Also, a new job from my real career that I'm excited. I'm starting tomorrow with a new team. So many things. So please bear with me with the technical issues with the random schedule of releasing podcasts. It's because a lot of stuff are happening in my life, but I still want to make sure that Martini with Eddie is still up and running, and it will be always up and running because I love talking about Bravo with you guys, and I love bringing you all the tea and the hot takes and the Bravo Labs and the content creators here on this podcast. So all I ask for you right now is to, bear with me and all the technical difficulties that might happen in the upcoming episodes. I mean, I do this because I love it. So I'm always going to be here, even if my microphone falls in my head. Okay, guys, it's been a great night. Great conversation. Remember, this week, tomorrow night is Salt Lake City night. Wednesday night is Orange County. And Thursday night is Southern Charm. My next episode will be sometime this week. I usually do Friday nights to cover all the week of Bravo. But I'm going to maybe do it over the weekend, like Sunday, because I'm going to be working. But just make sure to check my podcast because I'm going to definitely be recapping all the shows and bringing you all the tea and all the gossip from the Bravo universe. If you haven't, just go and subscribe to my podcast. If you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram or Twitter. Do it because that's where I post daily, pretty much all day long. And what I always ask people is to, besides subscribing to my podcast and my YouTube channel, it's very important for you guys to show me the love and that you appreciate or agree or disagree with my comments by leaving a rate on my podcast because that helped me to, survive in the sea of content creators. I just want to say, you guys, thank you so much for being here tonight with me. And I hope to see you next time with all the Bravo recaps and Bravo news. And like I always say, you guys, say it with me. Bye, besties.